Welcome back to their best laptop setups video. This is episode number 14. And as I always do, I gotta ask you guys to continue to subscribe and most importantly, like the video as it is helping out. Also, big congratulations to you, Luis. You won last week's episode. You're getting 75 bucks, so stay tuned for an email. But most importantly, let's begin. We got a bunch of brand new fresh setups to look at and your vote counts. The first setup comes from Yong. He's from Malaysia. I think Malaysia has some of the most setups entered into this series and it looks great. You know, he's on lockdown. He's had a lot of time to figure out his setup. He has a very clean and simple, but very inspiring setup to work with, and I love the look of it. He has a MateBook Pro M1 2020, which is his personal laptop, and then behind it, on another laptop stand, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a Panasonic Toughbook. He uses this for work. My guess is he's an engineer or he's some sort of person who's into construction. He's on site a lot of dirt and debris, and he needs something durable. There is a 24-inch monitor, which is from Dell. It's the S2421HN. I'm guessing it's 1080p, but he uses that as his main display and he keeps the laptops closed, which he should because his desk is kind of small. And the monitor light bar on top of it, funnily enough, is not a bend key, which is what most people use, but a Xiaomi Mijia monitor light bar. Now, he doesn't have two speakers to work with. Instead, he went with a Bluetooth speaker. He's using the Anker A3300 Soundcore Wakey. Also, how do you guys like using Bluetooth speakers as your main speakers? I find they're kind of hit or miss with latency, but maybe you guys have a different experience than me. His microphone is a Rode NT USB Mini on the left-hand side. And then if he wants to use headphones, he's using Apple AirPods. Now the mouse is an M720. Thank you for not using an MX Master. I'm sick of seeing them, even though it's a good mouse. And his keyboard is a Logitech K850. Overall, beautiful setup, great vibes, super clean. The second setup comes from Veya. She's from the Philippines and I absolutely love the look of this. This is not your typical desk, okay? She has a bunk bed with a desk underneath it, creating a completely separate space. This looks absolutely awesome. Not only does it feel cozy and inviting, it's like you're in a different room completely because you're underneath your bed. I love the way she organized it with her own personal touch. She obviously loves playing the guitar as she has a bunch on the right-hand corner. And there's just like a lot of nice little touches on the desk that really speak to who she is. Now she has two different modes with this space. She has a bright and greenery mode, which she mostly uses for her online classes and teleconsults, which means she's doing a lot of Zoom calls. And then there's a night study mode where the RGB kicks on and she has a totally different vibe. She says she loves my channel. Thank you, Veya, I do appreciate it. And she says the entire setup costs under $2,000. Now the actual bunk bed and desk was custom built by a furniture maker, including the bed, and her laptop of choice is the Huawei MateBook D14 with an AMD Ryzen 7 CPU. Now she has this in a laptop stand because she uses her main display, which is a 22-inch BenQ monitor, which costed her around $140. To the left, she has a little bit of storage to organize and some pictures of herself and friends. And then on the right-hand side, she has a 32-inch model Sharp TV, which she says she uses to mostly watch for me. Okay, she said this. I promise you, it's right here. As for the laptop and mouse is by a company called Harpoon. She has no idea what the model number is, but I'll try to search it for you guys if you're interested. But she is saving up for a mechanical keyboard and a better mouse to use in the future. Her gaming chair is the Savage gaming chair that she bought from Lazada. And she is using a JBL Charge 3 for her speaker. She loves red, her dad loves red. It's sentimental to her, so she picked that one specifically for the love of the color. And her fast wireless charger for her Note 20 Ultra is by a company called Kula. Now she does have a Google Home Mini on her desk, which is on the bottom left side of the monitor, and she uses it to control the lights in her space. And she has a Baseus rechargeable magnetic LED lamp, which cost her around $16. If you're wondering what kind of RGB she's using, she has a Bluetooth RGB light strip, which cost her about $8. And then she has a massive green desk mat, which is 2 tones. So I guess if you flip it around, it'll be a different color, and that cost her around $4. The wooden laptop stand is also from Lazada. It actually serves as a dual purpose, but she uses it for a laptop riser or dock. And she has a modular shelf, which she obviously uses to store her stuff. The third setup comes from Antonio. He is a photographer, a filmmaker, a fine arts advertising student, and an entrepreneur. Okay, as you can see here, he has tons of lenses to show for it and a bunch of cameras. Now, this setup is more of like the standard setup we're used to seeing. But hopefully for some of you guys, you appreciate this and get some inspiration. But one thing I noticed right off the bat is the cable management. There's just tons of cables going behind the desk and it looks a bit messy. So Antonio, you gotta take the time to clean up those cables one day. Laptop of choice is the ROG Strixcar GL405GV, which is a great laptop. The specs of it is an 8750H with 16 gigabytes of RAM and an RTX 2060. The table is a lifetime table he bought from the hardware store. I've never heard of it, but it looks good. And his monitor is a Gigabyte 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. It's 144 Hertz. I feel like with a monitor that big, you really don't need to have your laptop display open, and you could probably make the desk look cleaner and more organized by closing that laptop and putting it somewhere else. Now he does like playing video games. He has a PS4 on the left-hand side. As for audio, he's rocking 2 pair of headphones. He has the Logitech G331 Prodigy and the HyperX Cloud Stinger, but he does have speakers that are hiding behind the monitors that are from Edifier. He does have a Ajazz mechanical keyboard with blue switches, which looks pretty sweet, and his mouse of choice is the Corsair M65 Pro with RGB. And the last setup comes from Rex. He's from Scotland, and I love the look of this. It's so clean. The monitors are floating. The desk, there's no cables. It's like cables don't exist in Rex's life. Okay, you know those cables from those monitors are going through the wall and being routed somewhere else. All the cables that are supposed to connect to stuff are like on the bottom of the desk, taped and tucked in quite nicely. That tabletop is obviously from IKEA. I think it's a dining room table. I have one at home, and then it looks like he's using the Alex drawers on the bottom to support it. The monitors are floating. They're 24 inches. They're from LG. They're the exact same monitor, so the symmetry is there. He has a camera above it, so he's obviously doing a lot of Zoom calls. Maybe he's a streamer. He has a Dell P7530 laptop with an i7-8850H processor and an NVIDIA P1000 graphics card. So not so much of a gaming laptop, but still powerful enough to do some pretty intensive work. His keyboard is a Logitech G915. His mouse is the Corsair Harpoon wireless mouse. He has a pair of Sony 1000X-M4 headphones since he's not using speakers. And then he has a Blue Yeti microphone that he uses for podcasting or Zoom calls. Honestly, very beautiful, very nice setup. In fact, a lot of these setups were super nice. And the most important thing you can do is head on to my Discord server and make sure to vote for your favorite one. If you want to enter into the best laptop setups, instructions are in the description down below. Thanks to all of you, for those of you out there who took the time to submit yours. I know not all of them are making it into the video, but I still want to thank you for taking the time to submit them. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.